Hi everyone, I am just Shiny, and are your lips suckable? Cause mine's are. Y'all see the merch? Go ahead and get that merch on the link in the description. Go ahead, cop this merch. And before you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and hit that bell just to be notified every time I post a video. I mean, I post one every day, honey. Join the club, the cool kid crew. So today we're gonna be watching TikTok story times, and let's just get in it. Let's just go. Stop all the waiting.
Being bisexual is so funny. Recently I was on a date with this girl and I asked her what her attachment style was. So we spent like 2 hours comparing our attachment styles. Like we used this like personality quiz app to like run all of these like compatibility tests on us. Literally looked at our attachment styles on this like XY like axis chart, being like, okay, I'm more like anxious, like avoidant, and you're more like avoidant but kind of more secure. We were fully looking at all of the ways that like we could clash, and we were being like, well, here's how we would deal with these like kind of anxious avoidant issues in the future. On the flip side, recently I was on a date with a guy and I asked him what his attachment style was, and he looked at me and he said, attachment style? My attachment style is an ice cold Miller High Life. That's the champagne of beers right there.
Girls be doing that. We're talking about this on a first date, remember? I think that's what she said. Did she not just say first date friends? I think she did. That sounds like some lesbian but she said she's bisexual. I like to hear the stories of bisexual women because it's like they way out their worlds. And I just feel, oh, who are you deciding to be with today? You know? But it's not a choice. I love that for you, friend. You're more connected with women. You see the great qualities of women. Yeah, okay. Let's move on.
Here's a crazy gay story for you. I was in Australia, literally across the world. I'm in Boston. A man stops me in the streets and goes, Dave, I know you. I follow you on Twitter. I go, me? All the way from Massachusetts? He goes, yeah, you're just a big slut on there, aren't you? Pause. I'm so sorry. Is that my global reputation? World-renowned slut? Absolutely not. So rude of him, but what are you gonna do?
Exactly. What are you gonna do? Like, I mean, at least you're known. That'd be wild to be known as a slut worldwide. Well, shoot, here in America, that's not a bad thing. Like, you can make money off of that, honey. You could capitalize off of being a slut. So yeah. But wow, at least you got a fan. He following you, so y'all got some things in common. I love that for you, friend, being recognized for your accomplishments in other places. I love that.
Never again will I go to a gay club with my cousin. So this all happened in 2018. At that time, he wanted to be a rapper, and I wanted to have my own record label. So I'm thinking we put our powers together and we could be the next, Puffy and Biggie. So my cousin gets invited to perform at a birthday party. Now keep in mind, I don't know the place, the time, the date, or who birthday it is. He booked all of this. So we pull up to the club about 10 minutes before his performance. The place is packed. This is like a beautiful moment. I'm like, this is about to be our moment right here. So my cousin go over to the DJ, give him his music. He seems really cool. The DJ about 6 feet, long dreads, a G-Unit wife beater, a couple of chains, nothing too crazy. So he handling that business, and I go over to the bar to get me a drink because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. As I'm scanning the room, I realize that I am in a sea of Manny Freshes and Hurricane Chris's. And for y'all who's lost, there was a lot of aunties that was dressed like uncles. I got you. So now I'm thinking, oh, this is about to be bad. This is about to be real bad. Because all the music my cousin had to perform was booty shaking music. And it sounds good, but I know it just didn't fit this group. I started to realize things about the DJ that I didn't see in the first time. For example, I didn't know that underneath that G-Unit wife beater was a set of triple D breasts. So now I gotta be a manager and manage us out this situation. And when I finally tell my cousin that this is a lesbian bar on stud night, his music starts playing. So the DJ hands him a mic, and my cousin looks me directly in my eyes and says, "Welp, let's do it." And right then and there is when I realized that.
What did you realize? Yeah! Yeah! Those cliffhangers. oh, well, maybe, oh, this is TikTok, so it might be a loop. Does it work like that on TikTok? Yeah, I'm not on TikTok like that. But he probably said that's the moment I realized I shouldn't be going to bars with my cousin. Because let's be honest here. How many of us, comments below, has a cousin that you just don't go places with? You learned a long time ago that you do not go out with this person. It's always going to be something. I have that cousin. In fact, I have 3 of them. I have 3 of them. 2 that I grew up with, been in my life my whole entire life, that I know that we're not going anywhere together. Like, I had to cut one of my cousins off, last year, because it was like, okay, now back in the day, I could deal with that, but now I can't deal with that. I'm not doing that. This not, nope, what are we doing? We're going to be in some mess, and I ain't got time for it. The last time I hung out with my cousin, and this is my thing, so these 2 cousins, they're both younger than me. One is they're both cousins on my mom's baby daddy side. So always been some interesting stuff. Y'all know your cousins on your father's side, on your dad's side. Y'all know those cousins. Y'all know how those cousins be. The cousins on your dad's side versus the cousins on your mom's side are 2 different cousins. Well, I recently found out this summer that they're the same. They're the same type of hood. Like, cause you know your dad cousins are hood. They are hood rat hood. I just found out that I have some cousins on my mom's side that are hood rat hood. I'm just like, bro, we're not on this level. That's the dad's side. That's your dad's side. That's what I'm saying. But so I had this one cousin that she had so much mouth. And guess who had to cover the check her mouth could not cash? So every time she would be like, oh, yapping at the mouth. And then she'll run behind me. Oh, okay, my big cousin here. And I'd be like, bruh, are you serious right now? But I also be like, but you ain't gonna touch her. But you not gonna touch her. That's what you not gonna do. You not. I was that cousin. So needless to say, I used to always get into fights because of her. But it's okay. It's all good. But this other cousin, I had to cut her off last year because she moved out. Like, if you know my life, I have no friends or no people around me. It seems like that are my age, the people I grew up with. They all moved out of North Carolina for good reason, because North Carolina is a retirement state, and we're all just like, well, we've been here all our life, and we just all been retired all our life. We kids, and we ain't got nothing to do, so we just making stuff to do and being destructive. Yeah, that was us. So everybody has moved on because we've all had these dreams of moving and going to bigger and better places. I don't think I've ever really had those dreams of leaving North Carolina because I've always been a mama's girl, so I always want my mom to be with me. My mom was just like, we ain't friends, so we ain't traveling together. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm not going anywhere for permanent. I'll go to travel. Anyway, she had moved to New York and was like, hey, I'm coming back to North Carolina next week. And I was like, okay, bet, cool. We can hang out. Because she had already planned on hanging out with all her friends and stuff from the past. And it was like weeks in advance. And then this week, like it's a week away. I'm like, hey, so are you serious? Because if you're serious, I have some places we can go if you're serious. So she's like, yeah, I'm serious. So the night come. And I'm like, hey, hitting her up, like, hey, you still want to go? She's like, yeah, good like this. So I was like, okay, well, it opens at like 9. So let's try to be there, like, when it opens, like closer to the beginning of it. Because this particular club, because we have like, it's always busy. Like the clubs are always busy. It's always packed. So we need to get there before it gets packed, because once they hit their limit, they're not letting people in. And I don't want to put on my whole face, my whole get up, and not get down and dance. You know what I'm saying? So I let her, she was like, okay, cool. I'm hitting her up early in the day, like in the afternoon. I think it just hit afternoon. So I'm telling her all this stuff. She's like, okay, cool. Come around 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay. Come around 7 o'clock. I'm like, okay, boo, I just got off work. I'm about to, get ready. So are you trying to pregame here, or do you want to pregame somewhere else? And she's like, oh yeah, well, we can pregame at your place. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm getting ready, and I'm like, okay, 8 o'clock is rolling around, because sometimes it just takes me a long time to y'all see me get ready. I be distracted. I be doing other things. Like, I take a minute. So it comes around 8:30. And I'm like, fool, you ain't asked for my address. You don't know where I live. I just moved here. What is going on? Where you at? What's going on? 9 o'clock comes around. I'm like, woman, woman, where are you at, cousin? Where are you at? She's like, girl, I ain't got no ride. What you mean you ain't got no ride? What are you talking about? She is literally in my hometown. And the city I am is a ways from my hometown. So I'm just like, what do you mean you don't have a ride? Like, oh yeah, I've been trying to get a ride. I hit you up at 12 in the afternoon today. I could have been came and picked you up. Like, it's 9 o'clock now, honey. What are we doing? Like, I could have been came picked you up. We could have came back pregame and then gone. I'm just like, are you still coming? What's going on? She's like, yeah, I'm just looking for a ride. And then she's at somebody's house who has a car, like who wants to go. She's like, yeah, I'm just trying to talk her into going, this and that. And I was like, what you been doing this whole daily? What are you doing? Like, back in the day in high school and college, this would be like, this is the norm. But I haven't hung out with her since before I went to college. So this is like whoosh, like whiplash, like what just happened? I'm not used to this. I don't like that. I'm a planner. I would test you out throughout the day. She finally gets a ride to the place, and it's about, the club closes at 2 because we're in North Carolina. Like, there's another city down that the club closes at like 4 o'clock. But where I was at the time, club closes at 2. She gets to the club around 12:30, and she arrives, here's the kicker, with a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman. And it was just like, oh, not just pregnant and broke. So I'm just like, yo, we're gonna have to pay now because it's like 12:30. Like, it's 12:30 in the morning. Like, we're about to have to pay. So I go up there and I'm just like, and I had to find parking because it was beyond packed. So I go up there, I'm just like, how much is it? This is what they say, $20. You already know about how I feel about $20 for a club in North Carolina. So I was like, it's $20. And I was just like, I have no problem paying. And my cousin was just like, oh, $20. And I forgot to tell you what happened. So the reason why we were going to this club, she wanted to go out because there was a guy there and she was talking back and forth with this guy and she wanted to meet up with this guy. And I was just like, okay, well, as a finesser I am, sparkle, bitch. I was just like, so he's going to pay for us to get in, right? And she was just like, yeah, he got us. So I was just like, okay, $20. Okay, whatever. So I was just like, hey, is your dude going to pay for it? Is he going to come back? And she's like, oh, well, he's inside. And I was like, okay, so is he going to come out? Like, at least come to the door, pop your head, like text. And she's going back and forth texting. And I'm just like, okay. So I know what kind of dude you're dealing with right now, because if he's not trying to come to the door, like, why can't you come to the door and pay for the tab? So at this point, I'm just like, hey, I really want to dance. So he don't have to pay for me. I got my own money. Clearly I do. If he can just pay for you. And I was telling the pregnant girl and she was just like, well, I don't want to pay because I'm not going to be able to drink. I'm pregnant. And I was just like, so why'd you come? Like, I'm really confused. Oh, why the pregnant woman's there? Like, why? What? I'm so confused. And I'm talking to my cousin. I'm like, why'd you bring her? And she was just like, well, she wanted to come and like, she was my ride. And I was just like, okay. I was just like, well, tell him that he can pay for her and you, and that's it. And she's like, okay, yeah, cool. So she's going back talking to him. And he's just like, well, I didn't really plan on that. And basically what comes down to it, she was like, well, you don't have to worry about me. I could pay for me. Just pay for my friend because she's pregnant and she don't want to pay to get in because she's not going to be drinking. Like, she's just here for me. She's my ride. At this time, it's like 1 a.m., 1:15. And I'm just like, $20 ain't worth it no more because they're about to close at 2. So I'm just upset because I'm all done up. So her pregnant friend is just like, so if he's not gonna pay, then what we doing? And I'm just like, well, I'm trying to get in, even if it's like, shoot, I'm trying to get in the bag. Like, I'm about to scoot in the back. Like, I'm about to finesse the crap out. I'm about to bat my eyes to the bouncer. Like, hi, can I get in for a little bit before the bar closed, before last call? Like, I'm about to bat the freak out of this, finesse the out of this, like what, like we do, sparkle, honey. And she's just like, well, I'm about to leave. And I was just like, you about to leave? And my cousin was like, you about to leave? And I was just like, but you her ride home. And my cousin was like, you my ride home? what you doing? You about to leave? You my ride home? How I'm gonna get home? And I was just like, okay. So since she wants to, so she's texting back, my cousin's texting back the boy and the boy in the club. I have the brilliant idea because the city over, like I was telling you guys, there's a club that closes at 4 a.m. So I was just like, okay, we missed this one. We can catch 2 hours at the other club if y'all don't mind driving late. Cause you can jump in my car and we can just go there and we can like just hang out. Tell your friend or whatever. Her guy that she's talking to was just like, well, we were thinking about going to the strip club. And I was just like, oh, bet. Wait. Important question. Do y'all have money to go to the strip club? You can afford to get us in. Do you have money? Because ain't nobody, that is the awfulest flex. That is just weird. It's weird to walk into the strip club with no money. What are we doing? And people do that here. They just go in there with no money. And I'm just like, no, I am not sitting no section, no table with no guys that have no money. What are we doing? I can go to the strip club by myself. Throw some woods. I'm not about to sit with no bums at the strip club. So that's why I was like, okay, friend. So she tells her friend, the pregnant woman, to go home. And I was just like, okay, well, cool. I'll just take you home, because that was the deal. I was like, okay, we go to the club, we'll go to the strip club. I'll take you home. So the club closes, they shut down, and the guy comes out finally. And she's just like asking him all these important questions that I'm asking. Now, the thing is, I made a recording of this because we in the car. And she just going in, like, they're talking. I'm like, and I'm just commentating. Like, I'm literally talking like I'm on the phone with him. Like, you got some money. How much money you got? Are you gonna be throwing ones? Where y'all trying to go? Where y'all like literally, like, I'm on the phone with him. So after we leave, after them talking, they're on the phone now. And she's just like asking all the questions I'm saying. Hey, do you have any money? And he's just like, well, I don't personally have no money, but the guys I'm with have money. And I'm just like, all right. So clearly, cuzzo, this ain't the scene for me. So I'm just like, hey, cuzzo, will he take you home? Basically. Do you know him enough? Are you safe enough? Do you feel safe to go home with him? And she's like, yeah, I completely do. Like, I want to hang out with him. So yeah, he can take me home because I really want to hang out with him. Basically, she want that. Now, God, I mean, it gotta be good because he ain't got no money, so he gotta have something working for him. I guess. Because personally, I ain't about to freak with no broke unless they can break my back. You feel me? No broke unless you can break. You feel me? So I was just like, okay, well, cuz takes me the whole entire time. Let me know when you get there. I'm just right around the corner. I can whip real quick. Like, let me know. Keep me involved. Keep me in check. So she gets out my car and goes in the car with him. And the whole time I'm just I'm texting her back and forth. But the point of the story is, with my cousin, I don't do stuff with my cousin. I do not go to clubs with my cousins because I know either I'm going to get in a fight, I'm not going to get in the club, or there's going to be some bullshit. So no, yeah, I feel you on that one, friend. We're not going to clubs partying with our cousins, with our family members. No, I can't see myself doing that. Never again. Never again. Cop this merch. And before you do, subscribe.